Hello everyone, this is Jordan. This video is being recorded on the afternoon of Friday, August 9th, 2024. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Gold and Silver Weekly Recap. And not a great week for gold and silver. Well, for gold actually, I'll go through the numbers. Gold was flat on the week. Silver was down almost 3% on the week. Silver stocks down about 4.5%. GDX down less than 2%. GDXJ down over 2.5% on the week. So gold was flat. Everything else sold off. Most of the losses were at the beginning of the week. So gold stayed firm as the week closed. And also as the week closed, silver and silver stocks rebounded at support. So let's get into the charts. Okay, so this is gold's daily chart. This is the cash or spot market. So this does not have the impact of that contract rollover from last week, which gave gold a bump by $30, $40, something like that. So if we look at this chart of gold here, here's the bounce at the end of the week. 100-day moving average here. This is the 50-day. So gold in nominal terms still fairly strong. It bounced above the 50-day here. You have another near bounce right here. Definitely resistance here. So I don't see it going like that, but we'll see if it can rally a bit more, hit this resistance. Will it pull back like this before making that kind of a move when the Fed eases in September, or does it hit this resistance and then trail off? So we'll worry about that in the next week or two. But for now, we have to say short term, it's bullish, aside from the fact that when it hits that resistance, it will come back. So here is the futures of the continuous contract of gold, daily chart, silver here. So gold silver ratio here, I mean, you just see this so often in precious metals. Clear breakdown here, but then look what happens. Gets invalidated. So the gold silver ratio hit 90 earlier in the week, so closed just below 90. So we can see gold here, 2,400. This is going to be the support. I mean, you had this big sell-off intraday, but then a bounce. It came down on Thursday to 2420, so a bounce there. So you do have good support at 2400, excuse me. So again, we'll see if gold can maintain 2400, hold above it, go sideways for a little while before moving higher, or will it at some point succumb to the sellers and lose 2400? In that case, looking at 2300 to 2290 as support. Gold still nicely above this rising 100-day. So silver. Predictably, silver came down to this confluence of support, 200-day here, back testing the breakout above 26 again. So silver very oversold. You did have a good bounce. You can see the candles here. So beginning of the week, sells off down intraday all the way to 26.50. So we can see, I mean, look at these. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 different tests in the 26s. So silver closed the week here 27.59. This is going to be the stiff resistance right around 29. You can see big selling here. So 28.50, 29, that will be resistance for silver over the coming days and over the next week or two. And so looking at the larger chart here, silver really needs to reclaim 29 before technically you can say this is bullish and it can build some short-term upside momentum. So this will be significant resistance. Just one other comment on silver. There is technical damage here, but silver declined from almost 33 down to 26, or in the 26s pretty quickly. So I haven't looked at it, but I think this is close to a 20% decline. So whatever weakness we're going to see, I suspect that in terms of price, the price damage, most of it has been done here. I'm not saying it can't fall below 26 and even come down here at some point. But in any case, I think we have seen most of the damage for silver. So it's a nuanced take. You have a lot of technical damage. It will need time. But most of the price damage has probably already been seen. Okay, let's look at the weekly charts. We see the bounce from 26. Not the best candle. You'd like to see more. I'd like to see the body closer to this point and more of a bullish hammer down here. But it's not a bearish candle. It's interesting because gold has trended up the last 3 or 4 weeks, but these are not the best candles. This is an ugly candle that indicates distribution. Same thing last week. This is distribution, and this is a bullish hammer. But folks, bullish hammers they're bullish when they come like down here. These are bullish hammers, not when you're occurring right here after this type of a move. Even though gold has moved up, I mean, these are iffy weekly candles. We'll see if gold can hold above 2,400, because if it can stay above 2,400 into September, then the Fed cuts. That could put it on path to 2,700 by the end of the year, as Goldie said, or maybe even higher if you get more of a market sell-off. What does that mean for silver? It depends on a lot of factors, but we want to see silver reclaim 29 at some point and then start to outperform gold. We don't want to see gold chugging higher here and silver is just sucking wind and it's never going to get back to 32, 33 the next few months. All right, this is probably, I mean, I've said gold against the 60-40 is the most important chart. It is, but this is 60% of that chart, and that's gold against the stock market. Is this an inverse head and shoulders? This is a case where it looks like it, but it's not 100% a proper pattern. So we'll see if this plays out. But again, people, if gold against the stock market can break above this resistance, you get a move like this, gold's going to 3,000 and probably higher. So this is very significant to watch over the coming days and weeks. And check out the video I did. I'll link it in the description a couple days ago, where the top 5 charts I'm watching right now. This is one of those charts. So very important for gold moving forward, and the entire precious metal sector. Because again, people, this question of, well, when is X going to happen? When are the juniors going to outperform? When is silver going to move and hit 50? It's all dependent on gold breaking out against the 60-40 and gold breaking, these lines against the stock market. You need that to happen. That will signal a lot more capital coming into precious metals. So a lot of your questions about when X will happen, that's dependent on these intermarket relationships and when they will break in gold's favor. All right, so wrapping it up with the stocks. First thing, check out my newsletter, thedailygold.com/premium, where we're covering my favorite juniors that I'm investing in. People, I'm looking for the highest quality juniors that have the highest potential at the same time. So I think that's really, that right now are the things that I want to be looking at. The things that are more risky, more optionality, lower fundamental quality. When we have real confirmation of a gold and silver bull market, those things will really fly. But right now, they're too risky to get into, in my opinion. Okay, moving on, finishing up with the stocks. These are the daily charts of the miners, GDX, GDXJ, SILJ, 200-day moving averages. And all of these charts, we can see SILJ came down to the 200-day. It's bouncing. This is also a confluence of support here. Here's GDXJ. Not quite tested the 200-day or this level yet. Same thing with GDX. GDX has been the strongest. So still more room for GDX to come down here. I suspect if we get another sell-off, I'm not predicting that, but if we get another sell-off in the mining stocks, maybe GDX comes down and makes a major bottom here, bouncing off the 200-day, because there's still some distance here to go. Let's look at the weekly charts, wrapping this thing up. It's really interesting because you get a big sell-off to start the week, gap down in the miners. But look, these are white candles. These are white candles. So you didn't see, you saw losses this week, but looking at these weekly candles, that doesn't signal distribution. You saw huge losses at the beginning of the week. I'm not saying it was the best week, but those losses at the beginning of the week, there was buying in the miners. And that's why you have these nice candles. Although miners were down 2-3%, 4.5% on the week for SILJ. So there you go. That is the weekly wrap-up. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you guys all have a great weekend. Leave a comment. Let me know below what you think, what you are thinking. Again, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you guys again next week.